Listen to this short extract of my conversation with Hamish, where we discuss tips on how to maintain high energy level throughout a consulting day. Do we want to have a quick chat about do your post about energy?
Yeah, we can do. That one was actually surprisingly popular. I didn't expect it to be, but I think it's something I've been having a lot of conversations with people recently.
Yeah.
With obviously, Greg, who I work with, through a coaching course, and we have a lot of chat on his community things around energy, and end of last year I just kind of November, December had it, was tired, kind of sick of it, almost like contemplating, do I continue doing my online course? I actually got that bad.
Oh wow, okay.
But then you have a break over Christmas and you get energy back, and then sales picked up in January, and everything's been going really well since then. And I was like, what was I thinking? So it's been quite a relevant topic to me, and just doing little things we know that in our industry, and it happens a lot, but as a consultant or working with business apps, it's a lot of pressure, right? Whether you've got to get your projects delivered on time. There's a massive shortage of people and resources out there to help. We've got this, something like 4 million developer shortfall. It's just crazy, right? So everyone's under a lot of pressure. And so I think being aware of your energy, and being aware of things like burnout, right? Some of the other things I've been doing is just recognizing when you work best and when you don't. So for me, I get up early in the morning and I do, work on the thing, the most important thing, and probably one of the things, you choose something that is the most important to get finished. But probably also something that you don't really want to do, and get that done the first thing in the morning when you have got lots of energy. And then, for me, come to mid-afternoon, I'm just like, I've just had enough, and go take a break, go for a swim or whatever, and come back to it later on. I feel like this whole 9 to 5 thing is just, the more I think about it, it's absurd, right? It's just weird. Not everyone can go 9 to 5 non-stop. And I think, for me, my day now, especially being an independent consultant, I work at pretty random hours, but it's when I have the most energy, right?
So what time do you start working? What that productivity boost that you have in the morning, what is it?
So typically, I get up quite early. 5:30. I'll go to the gym or go for a run or a swim. I need to keep active every day. And that's another part of building my energy, right? And then by 7, I'll do an hour and a half of work from 7 till 8:30. Then I'll take the kids to school, do the drop-offs. So I chill out for about an hour. And then back into work again. So, and it's kind of like that throughout the day, right?
Right.
How about you, Dani? What are you? Because you're probably also conscious of all this sort of stuff as well, right?
What's your
day looking like?
It's pretty slightly different in terms of when I do things, but I wake up probably at the same, between 4:30, depending on the season, right? 4:30 to 5:30, it really depends, right? And when I wake up at 4:30, it's really, I don't force it, but it's really amazing. If I have a good night's sleep and I wake up at 4:30, that 4:30 to 5:30, it's. I sometimes do some brainstorming, or I work on some articles, on some ideas. I've been extremely productive, and so that was always kind of a good investment of my time. But then from 5:30 to about 7. I would do some something active, right? Whether I go to some weights twice a week. So I do the body pump, which is Les Mills, like a class, right? That you follow someone. So I do that twice a week from 5:30 to 6:30. So whether I do the body pump, whether I go walk, whether I go on my bike. So I have an elliptical bike when I have something to learn, like your course, Greg course, even my course, like reviewing things, and I really want to focus. I take some of the Microsoft calls as well. I have an elliptical bike. I jump on it and I follow on it, and I found that I'm way more connected to the content by being active than just listening in front of my screen. I find myself being distracted, wanted to do other things. when I am on a course, when I just watch something, I don't know, it's but on the bike, I'm there, I'm focusing, and then the time passed super quick, and I've done my exercise as well, right? So so into about 7 I do something active. I practice a little bit, maybe martial arts. If I have a little bit of time, I do some martial arts just activities, because I do some karate as well. So the coach always tells us to practice more at home. If you want to be better, practice more. So if I can squeeze 15 minutes, I squeeze that in. And then, from 7 to 8:30, it's with the kids, with the family, right? So we eat breakfast, prepare the kids. So active time with the kids. And then, I do probably like the same with you. Like I try to do my most important stuff in the morning until about 12, 1:30. And then I often go for a quick walk as well when I am, I think probably have the same, right? Around 1:30, I'm a bit down in my mental capacity, so I go for a walk, and then I'm refreshed again, basically, and come back. And I do more chill stuff a bit more in the afternoon.
It's a big one, right? Like scheduling. And this is why I do my harder stuff in the morning, when I'm I'm thinking most clearly. But then schedule something for the afternoon, like doing my accounts or my GST or whatever. That'll be like, or something that's really lightweight. Don't have to think too hard about it for the afternoon. Yeah. And another trick I found because we talk about energy, I don't do it every day, but so I read a book a few years ago that really kind of inspired me a bit. So it's Finding Ultra. I'm not sure if you read that book. No. So it's I won't spoil the story, but it's about a guy in his early 40s or late 30s, pretty unfit and healthy, and he kind of switches his life completely upside down. And at 43, I think he finished seconds of the Ironman or something, right? Well, he was completely unfit like 3 years ago. Like crazy the way he kind of switched and changed his life. Anyway, it's a very good book if someone wants to follow and read, to kind of not have those ideas that because you're getting older you are getting unfit and it's kind of finding excuses. It's the book really switched that completely upside down, right? And I'm probably way more active today than 3 years ago anyway. So, but he also advised there, one of his tips was some healthy smoothies that he makes smoothies out of, and he explained why smoothies are so good for you, like, because the machine already processed everything is liquid, so your stomach don't have to digest and you don't spend energy, and you waste energy by your belly digesting things. Everything goes straight into your body, and then what you put in the smoothie, so fruits, a bit of nuts, some greens. So I often try, like, a few times per week to have a smoothie for lunchtime and nothing else. Maybe a coffee or something. And I found, not every time, but I found that my energy level in the afternoon, evenings are still pretty high. So it's kind of a bit of a trick that I do when I have my karate lessons in the evening. I try to have my smoothie for lunch because it's late in the evening. I mean, late until 8 in the evening. So I try to have that smoothie for lunch to just give me a bit more energy for the evening. It's not, I'm not I like it, but I'm not a fan of this every day. I have to force myself to drink it. I can imagine.
But so that's a bit my secret weapon that I have to kind of remain energetic until the evening. But
And what time do you go to bed? Because a lot of people commented on the post as well around like sleep is one of the most important things. And I think people are starting to realize that sleep is super important. So if you're up at 4:30, like, what time are you in bed?
Look, we probably go to bed, not sleep yet. We probably go to bed between 8:30. Watch something a bit on. So I watch things on YouTube or listen to a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Nothing to do with work then in the evening, because I don't want to focus too much and don't want to be awake it's more something distracting about whatever. So I listen to podcasts not related to work, and then I kind of fall asleep around 9:30.
Yeah, good on you. Yeah, because
it's like that.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I've seen a few people like criticizing the people who get up early and saying, "Hey, you're obviously not getting enough sleep." Blah blah blah, but they don't take into account like when do they actually go to bed.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you got some. Okay.
Oh no, not on the post, but I've seen it elsewhere. With, these kind of talks I've been having around energy and stuff, and people are and I think it's all around like do what's good for you, right? Like how does your body work? Everyone's different.
Yeah.
And I know like so my wife gets up quite a lot later than I do.
Yeah.
And she'll stay up later.
Yeah.
But we'll still get the same amount of hours sleep, right, each night. Yeah. So I think that's important. But yeah, I feel like if you're one of those people who are getting up at 5 o'clock or early in the morning, you're probably not a person who's going to bed at 11. Where I think that's probably not a very healthy habit.
Yeah. I'm not a good sleeper though. So maybe on another podcast I can explain how I tweak I sleep very well now. I sleep like a baby now. That was not the case a few months ago. No, I used to wake up sometimes. My younger daughter, used to come once a week or something in the middle of the night. She has dreams or nightmares, or she sleepwalks, so she comes banging the door, and I was awake at 2 and couldn't fall asleep. And I can agree with some of the people. Sleep is super important. I mean, it's such it's a massive. But I really worked hard to find a way to sleep better.
Yeah.
On the next one, I'll share with you some of my tips. Yeah.
I'd love to hear. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm lucky, but I just know so many people who struggle with sleeping, and you wake up in the middle of the night and your head's running around because you've got something on at work.
Yeah.
I think our industry is pretty stressful, right? There's always a lot going on, and maybe you're trying to solve some tricky problem that you've got, and it's just running around in your head and you can't sleep.
Yeah.
I used to have that. I don't know. Somehow I haven't got any special tricks for anyone, but I've got lucky over the last few years where I can just switch off. And
that's lucky. Yeah, my wife is the same as you. I'm not like that. But next one on the next episode, I'll put it in the agenda.
I'll
share my tips.